So we're here with the cast of Still for the Point Lookout Film Festival. How are you guys doing?
Good. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, great. Thanks.
So how did it go about with the audition process for this short film?
Do you want to jump in or want me to?
Well, basically, they had Lance had people in mind because he's worked with us before, and it was just they called us up and asked us if we were interested, and read the script, and it was a great script. I mean, the writing is phenomenal. It just pretty much writes itself. So that's one thing that was really great about it. It was just natural. It was just love bringing the words to life.
Absolutely. What about you, Caroline?
Same thing. I met Lance at one of the Brightside Tavern film festivals.
Yeah.
And we just kept in touch, and then he emailed me, said that he thought I would be I would make a good Tracy. So I read the script and I loved it. I love that it's about sleep paralysis.
Mm-hmm.
I like things that stem from real life, like subject matters, and then creates this like creative, like fun project, this thriller.
How did you get into these characters? And Patrick, if you want to say, how did you get into that character that you played?
I mean, well, like I said, with the writing, it was
easy to.
It gave a good backbone and a direction to go, and then I just delved deeper into what sleep paralysis, like the different stories online and what was available to learn about it, and just started adding layers of this, layers of that, and just kind of brought my own self to it as if, I was going through that. Which is a great thing about, acting. You can bring your own self to it and just start adding layers onto it.
Absolutely. What about you, Caroline, and your character?
Tracy's kind of just, she's just reacting, I guess, to Craig and like what he's going through. So I just was bringing myself to it. Actually, it kind of, like Patrick said, like the writing kind of just does it for you. And it was easy. It was more just like reacting and trying to kind of be there for him, but also I guess the layer for me was like the confusion of, you're trying to be there for him, but you're frustrated because you don't really know what's going on. You think he might be, going a little crazy, I guess.
Yeah. How long was the shoot?
2 days?
2 days, yeah.
Yeah.
2 days.
Yeah. And it wasn't bad. It was quick.
Yeah.
And there wasn't too many locations, obviously, right? So it was a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just one location.
Yeah. And then, and what about I know there's some I was talking to him the other day, your director, about some of the practical effects that he put into it, and that was different. What'd you think about that when you saw it for the first time with the edited version with the effects?
Yeah, that was really cool. I mean, Greg Cusack was in like a bodysuit kind of to look like the shadow. And the first time he got in it, he came out and he looked like this like alien like shadow. And you kind of like had an idea of what was going to be done like in post, but it was really cool to like see what they were able to do with that to kind of like amp it up to make him look like this like shadow monster. That was cool.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. Did you get to see this? Did either of you get to see this on the big screen at all, or not yet? Because of COVID and everything, did it play in like a fest or anywhere in a big screen at all?
Lance had a private screening before COVID, like a smaller little, but it was on a bigger screen. But just that once, yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, COVID threw everything off, so it's like all online and everything for the last few. So unfortunately, this one's online, but I think that they're going to start, like Garden State Film Festival is actually next weekend. They're doing partially here and partially online. So it's like they were the first ones that went online, and they're going to be the first ones kind of coming back really into the theaters and stuff. So that's next weekend. We're doing a few interviews for filmmakers that are coming. So it should be interesting. So,
yeah, hopefully things will get back to somewhat of a normalcy soon.
Absolutely.
There's something about watching what you've been a part of on the big screen. You're able to be taken away and be a part of that world and just be a part of that story and experience it. It's something you don't get on smaller screens.
No. The only good thing about the online ones, the really good thing is a lot of people will see it. I remember from our Hang On to Your Shorts Fest, we had about 6,000 people watching throughout the whole festival. So we're like, well, at least people got to see your films, whereas it was like 30 people in a theater. So that was cool. And then we came up with the concept of doing the Q&A or the little Q&A here like this. And I just kept pounding through different filmmakers. So I've talked to more filmmakers and actors than probably anyone in ages, because I've been doing this for like every festival and people who never could make it, like out in California. So I've met so many people and people that I usually wouldn't interview or interviewing. They're like, sure, why not? So it's been interesting. So
do you think you'll keep? You think you'll do both?
So this is one thing that I think we'll keep, at least. I'm kind of back in. I've been so busy, so I'm backing out of some festivals, but I'll probably still be hosting and doing all this. So it's like my thing now. I'm going to starting to go to cons when they come up and go to cons and do Q's and A's, and so it's a whole new like kind of career kind of developing here.
That's so exciting.
Yeah, it's kind of cool, and because we were doing podcasting in a studio for Hang On to Your Shorts, that was our show. And then it kind of just ended, and I was like, talking to him, and I'm like, "Can we do something? Can we keep going?" He's like, "Yeah, we'll do this StreamYard and do a new show and everything." And it did about 62 episodes so far in a year. So it's been cool. And Caroline, you were on one.
I was.
Yeah, and then one of the early ones on. So it was.
That was like right in the beginning, right? Was it like April?
Yeah, it was right in the beginning of all that. So it's come a long way. So and then I tried to go from because it was on Facebook, and then we have it live on YouTube, and my YouTube, everyone watches on Facebook. I'm like, go to YouTube. I want my YouTube to get.
You're like, I need those YouTube views.
Yeah, I want those YouTube views because my students now are interviewing, and I had 2 students go to the Secret Stash, and they did this little segment we do this news, and we can't really do these long news anymore because there's not much news going on in the school. So we do these little segments and we air them, we put them out. So they did this one on the store, and it's got thousands and thousands and thousands of views in like a week. Wow. Everyone's watching it. It's so funny. The kids are like, "What's going on?" I'm like, "I have no idea." It's so funny. I'm like, I can't get 10 views on my other shows, but with big no names, and you 2 girls are getting 5,000 views walking in a comic book shop. It's funny.
Well, yeah, that's probably their generation, their friends, and
they're all like logging on, watching it. But it's actually like Kevin Smith all those people are sharing it, so it's out there.
Oh well,
it's pretty funny. And you never know. You never know with those things.
Yeah, social media these days, it's crazy.
Like the kids nowadays are doing the TikToks. They put me in a TikTok and it's got like 10, 20,000 views. I'm like, what is going on?
Well, what are you doing in the TikTok?
I think one, they just took a photo of me, or one, they had me like dancing in the background or something like that. It's fun.
My sister messaged me yesterday. I have 2 nieces, 5 and 7. And she's like, can you teach them how to TikTok? And I was like, I can try. I feel like I'm still figuring it out.
Yeah, I have no idea. But the kids made me start like an educational one. So I have like little cartoon things on it, little animation app. So.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, but whatever. It's fun.
It's different ways of staying creative today.
Yeah. So that actually gets to you guys. Like, how are you doing during all this? Are you coming up with new things? Are you acting online? Are you doing shows like this? What's going on?
So I got back to my script that I'm writing. So I just submitted my new draft to my director. I'm doing like a weekend play reading that actually comes up. My first reading is Suddenly Last Summer, which is on Easter. And then I've kind of just been updating my marketing materials. Like my manager has asked for, like a monologue to kind of right now we have so much more leeway with like, it doesn't never necessarily have to be like an updated reel scene. It could be like a monologue because we're in our apartments. So I guess casting is kind of giving us a little more leeway with that. So I've kind of just been doing that. And then I've been writing poetry and like got back to kind of blogging about that to kind of just stay creative in another way. I think for me, it helps me to kind of do other things to help with the acting too.
Yeah, absolutely. What about you, Patrick?
We just recently, we had a short film that a couple of friends of mine, we produced. He wrote it. We've actually done a couple of short films together. Loyalty, which was on Amazon. And then so he wrote another one, and we started working on it last year and just kind of keep getting pushed back. And then we finally pulled the trigger on it. And shooting during COVID is in a SAG production is, oh my gosh, it was so much harder. So we were doing like all the line producer work, everything, hiring people, setting everyone up with COVID tests. You have to have certain COVID tests during a certain time.
Every day you're on set, do you have to have it?
No, it's like you have to go. No more. You can't work more than 72 hours without a certain type of test and without results.
Wow.
And so we're supposed to responsible in finding locations and then working with the weather too.
And then you have a COVID person on set, or do you not need?
I'm glad that part's over. We just. Well, we had it set up.
I lost you there.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Now yeah.
Okay. We had a COVID officer on set, so it was actually a friend of ours who was in the film. Lauren Chappell, her husband, is a doctor, so so that was helpful with being able to fulfill all the COVID like all the COVID rules and everything. But we finally finished that. So I was working on that for the first couple of months this year, and like I said, it's learning how to do all those steps and getting it to the point to where you're actually shooting it's like kudos to people who do that. But we ended up doing all those steps. We were like trying to figure out, okay, what's the minimal amount of crew, because we're supposed to keep the crew and everything small. So I ended up ADing on. We had shot 3 days. 3 different locations, and I was ADing on the 3 days, and when I was actually acting. So it was something else. It was a learning experience, and so now everything's in post-production. I was able to get to see the clips. Everything looks great, fantastic. Worked with a great crew, but yeah, it was so that was something. I was glad to get that over with. Now we're seeing the kind of the fruits of the labor and everything, but that auditions, everything's like self-tape auditions.
They kind of moved to that mostly now, right? Like
I have a feeling they're gonna probably keep with that a lot, because because they know they can save a lot of save money with that. But so I've been staying pretty busy, so
that's good,
thankfully.
That's good, and it seems to be coming around a little bit now. I got my first shot, getting the second shot next weekend. So.
Oh, okay. Nice. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
nice.
Really?
Yeah. So that's exciting, right? No, I have to for teaching. The more kids are coming tomorrow, so I have to. So at least I'm halfway there. So, yeah. But we'll see.
Have you been teaching from home?
No, I'm in every day. And we got about half the kids online, half of them in school, and it just every day's different. It's like I can't even follow. So like tomorrow, more kids are coming in, and I'm like, I don't know. I wait till they come through the door, and some of them come in and they got their mask on and their hood on. I go, who are you? Like all year I haven't seen you. I don't know who you are, and they're like mad that I don't know who you are. I'm like, because online they just have icons. They don't even put their cameras on, and then they come in and they look like this.
Oh.
I'm like, who are you, kid? I don't know. So.
Wait, so do they get to choose if they want to come in? Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's up to the parents, really. So some are home still and never come in. Some come in 1 or 2 days a week, maybe 3 days a week sometimes, and it just keeps rotating, and it's crazy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but and it's really hard for TV film because it's all hands on. So it's been, well, thank God you have cameras nowadays on these things. So
yeah.
that's what they've been using. So it's been a weird year, and it's almost over already, which is crazy. So,
yeah.
But I think more things are opening up, and I think we'll be able to film more. And all these people have been writing and now want to film. So I think the summer's going to be getting there, and maybe like by fall, hopefully we'll be out of it.
Yeah.
Hopefully. So we'll see. But yeah. So do you have any social media that you want to promote, or any websites or anything where you can see any of your past work? You want to start, Patrick?
Yeah, sure. You can follow me on Instagram at Texas Shane. I'm from Texas originally.
Nice. I go down there. I go to Houston. Actually, I'm going to Houston this summer.
Oh, nice. Film festival or?
Comic Palooza.
Oh, Comic Palooza.
So I do that every year, and last year we didn't have it, but they're having it 2 days in the summer. So I usually go down, and we do podcasting with because there's no film festival this year there though, and I go to the film festival, but I'm going down anyway. And we're just going to podcast and have fun for 2 days.
Nice.
All COVID far away, but
right. Hopefully no snow is in the forecast.
No snow, right? But I do love Houston. It's like I'd love going there once a year.
Yeah.
I've never been to Houston. I've been to Austin for 24 hours.
Yeah. Austin's a great place too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw a little piece of it, but it seemed really cool. The music scene there is pretty awesome.
Yeah, and the Comic-Con thing is so much fun. They do a film festival and the con, and we do the podcasting, and we go down and we just have a blast. So we've been doing it 3 years now. So
cool.
A lot of fun. But we'll see. It'll be like the first one back,
Yeah.
Right.
You're a busy bee.
Yeah.
You gotta keep going, right? Gotta keep it.
Trailblazer.
Totally.
What about you, Caroline? Any where are your social medias or websites or anything we could see?
Caroline is my Instagram handle. I actually have the same handle for everything. It's just my name, Caroline Heinle. Website, carolineheinle.com. Yeah, like I guess I'm a little more active on Instagram. But I have a Facebook page. You can follow me there. I don't tweet that much, but but I'm on there too. I'm more of an Instagram story and posting thing.
I've been learning Instagram myself. I'm trying to get better at it because I'm Mr. Facebook, but now it's like Instagram is where it's at, I guess now, right?
Oh, you're the opposite. Okay.
I'm learning because we have a Twitter for school, and now we have an Instagram for school, and now the TikTok for school. So I'm learning in the Instagram. So every time I go to Facebook and post, I'm like, I guess I got to go to Instagram and do the same thing. So
yeah,
we'll see.
And the great thing with Instagram, you can create a post and share it with Twitter, Facebook all at the same time.
Yeah.
I noticed that. I put a story on Instagram the other day, and it was on my Facebook. I'm like, how'd that happen? How did that happen? I was just promoting a page for a friend, so I put them up, and it was like all over the place. I'm like, I don't remember doing that.
That's something in your settings that you probably, when you first set it up, you set it up that way, which is great. But sometimes you're like, shoot, I didn't mean to do that.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Because he's like, can you post something for me? I'm like, yeah, I'll share it on this story. I'm learning the story thing. So I can never find it. And then I finally find it and then I mess it up. So I'm learning. I mean, I'm a pretty good tech guy, but the social media stuff's a little tough.
Well, I think it's it is because they're always updating it.
Mhm.
And when they update it, you're like, oh my God, I feel like I just figured that out. But you should get into Reels because
Oh, is that yeah.
It's like the TikTok version
right.
for Instagram, yeah.
Just post stories or something like that. Post like videos, short videos.
Yeah.
How long do they let you do that? Like 5 minutes?
It's 30. No, it's only 30 either 15-second videos or 30-second videos.
No, that's it.
TikTok allows for a minute tops.
Because sometimes I get like videos that are like 1 minute and 10 seconds, and then it goes to like a different thing.
Yeah, that's IGTV.
Oh.
And then you get sucked into the rabbit hole, and then 5 hours pass.
You're like watching like a science video when you started on like a video about flowers.
It gets addicting, and you keep watching people's stuff. So yeah,
Baby Pandas.
I kept like liking stuff. I just go on, I see something like, and then someone said, "Oh, you liked my thing. Oh, you saw that and this," and then big conversation, and I was like, "Oh, okay."
You're like, I really didn't. I'm just trying to be supportive.
Yeah, just like, hey, that's cool. It was like on a set and they're filming, so I liked, and I just kept scrolling, like, and then I'm getting all these messages.
Well, that's what most people, I think, are unaware of. That like most of the time, everybody is just scrolling, so it's not as big of a deal. Like I think we're all sometimes so nervous about like what we're posting, and it's like people probably watch it for 10 seconds. They move on with their life.
Yeah, no one has the mind to sit and listen for a long time. That's why. And then I do shows for like an hour. And I'm like, oh, no one's gonna listen the whole time.
No, I disagree. I think podcasts and like interviews are different because like they like your audience is coming to like listen and learn. So I think it's like a mindset thing. It's like
if you're prepared for it, if that's what you're ready for,
yeah,
absolutely. Well, thanks for joining me today, and it was a lot of fun. It goes so quick, right? So
yeah.
And so I'll have this up later in the week. I got a few things to do. I'm going to cut them a few up in a row, and then just keep submitting on our Facebook page, our YouTube page, and whatever else. I'll have my cousin Stevie put them all up. He does all that stuff. Like, here, you do it. So he'll put them up all over the place, and we'll see. I got a bunch of these, and I got more during the week and everything. I just keep adding all these interviews. So it's a lot of fun. I get to talk to actors and filmmakers and see how everyone's doing. So
yeah,
I love it.
Thanks for doing this. Like helping us all connected.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. So yeah, it's good to talk to you, and I got to get to work.
Yeah, good luck.
So we're here with Peter Hardy, and you wrote this script that we have as a finalist, Veil. And can you tell me how did you come up with that idea?
It was my understanding that I was selected, but not a finalist yet. If I'm a finalist, I haven't been told.
Oh well, if we select you for a script, you're a finalist. So you're a finalist.
Okay, well, you should say that. That's important, because with most festivals, if you're selected, it's like, okay, that's the first hurdle,
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah,
Well, thank you. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, so you were actual That's the one thing with other films that when we pick the script, that with the ones we pick, we usually pick the top 5 or top 3. I think we pick top 3, and they're just finalists. You're finalists. So whereas the films, you just to get accepted. And then you have to wait and see if it's nominated and all that stuff. So it's a little different with the script in that part.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'd be happy to brag about that, but I didn't have anything to, I just had the, I think I have a Laurel graphic.
If you do, we'll send you one with the finalist, but you might, it could be winner. So we might change that to finalist to winner. Okay. Or you can use both, either one.
Whatever. No, that's
either
great.
One.
Thank you.
But that's another thing that looks good with the script, and you go to other fests and you have that. So that's another thing that will help out.
Yeah, that's what my plan has been. I mean, I want to start contacting. There's like I live in Atlanta, and there are groups of people, groups that have to do with making films. It's
growing down in Atlanta. It really is. I was down in Atlanta right before all this. I was down at a horror con, so I'm in the horror world. So I was down the horror con in February, and then that was it. That was the last trip I took.
So I'm So what I figured I would do is I would reach out to whatever groups and say, here I have like 6 short scripts that I've been submitting to Film Freeways, and each one of them has been selected somewhere or gotten these awards or whatever. So maybe you'll want to take a look at them.
Yeah, we have a filmmaker I talked to earlier today, and he doesn't write. He selects scripts from certain people, and they write the scripts. Now he has like 6 different writers that send him scripts, and he makes their film. And he's been at our fest in the past, and he's met actors. He casted them. So he has 2 films in this, and he met the actors at our fest, maybe some of the writers at our fest, and he just keeps going. So.
Well, that's encouraging, because that's sort of the strategy, because I'm not. I mean, it may get to a point where I try to, make my own films, but I'm not. I don't have the knowledge for that at this point, or the technology available to me.
So. But you had all theater, right? So you're
I'm in like actor and theater and director in theater, and I've written a number of plays, and I've been doing that for 30, 35 years.
Wow.
So that's really where I came from.
That's great. Yeah. I mean, we have New York right here, and that's a big theater town. And a lot of us around here are theater people as well. So.
Yeah. I mean, I've always loved film, and I kind of convinced myself not to try and write for it for various reasons that it seemed to me now were kind of self-sabotaging bullshit. I said, well, gee, if I wrote a film script, what could I do with it? I'd have to move to Los Angeles and try and get someone to make it or whatever. And also, 30 years ago, in order to make a film, you needed a lot of heavy, expensive equipment.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's really not true anymore.
No, people were doing it on their phones now, and 4K cameras. And if you just know how to do it, you can do it. It's crazy. So, but I know Atlanta's booming with the film industry now.
Yeah. So I'm hoping to make connections with people like that.
Absolutely, yeah. I was excited going down there. I'm like, wow, this is great. So, but absolutely. So when you were writing your characters for this, were you thinking theater, thinking people, or you were just thinking film? You're thinking watching it, observing it.
Well, this was actually the first screenplay that I wrote after just working in theater, for a long time. And it actually began with, there was a little moment, a little part of a scene from a play that I wrote. And I kind of took that and then just extrapolated it out into a different direction, and it really kind of, I just sort of followed it, and it's a kind of a dream piece. It's not realism at all. Some people have compared it to Twilight Zone or Black Mirror, but I was just sort of thinking in terms of, I mean, well, okay, what could happen next? And I knew it was not realism. I mean, it starts out kind of realistically, but then it gets to a point where things are happening that obviously would not, I mean, a guy who's been following this woman that, he knows, and he follows her into a movie theater, and she's sitting alone in the audience, and she's watching a film of the two of them, and from that point on, it's like, this is not realism anymore, so I just, like I say, I just kind of followed it where it led me, and it, I wasn't sure whether anyone else would respond to it or like it, but I had a number of friends who read it and, gave me very good feedback on it. So,
well, I know a lot of the people here read it, and they said, that was they really enjoyed that one, and a lot of it. So not only and a lot of them are film people, so that's a good thing. They're all filmmakers and film stuff, and if they like that script, they could see it as a film instead of so that's pretty cool. And have you ever thought of taking one of your plays and filming it in a way, or like a strong scene, and maybe using that as maybe?
Yeah, I have I actually just recently completed my first full-length screenplay, which is something I've been sort of working on for a number of years. And then I sort of wrote 6 short scripts and then I finished the full-length script. So that's all sort of, been taken care of. And my next big project is to do a screenplay from one of my plays. The play of mine that got the most, had the biggest following and got the most, response to it. And so that'll be my next project. The play was just 2 characters. It's 2 characters, 2 college kids working together in the lobby of a movie theater, which is what I did when I was in college. So it's set in the 70s. When I did that. The film will have more people in it, but it's still basically about those 2 characters.
That's the perfect film to do right now while COVID is still going on too. People are looking to say, what can we do to have less actors and less crew and all that? So that's a lot of people are doing these really strange, it's like easy films that they can do themselves. So it's going to be a little different for a little while until production. But I know, I guess I know down in Atlanta they have like regular production going on. In New York they do. It's a little crazy with the COVID, but they're pumping these shows out now.
Oh yeah, I have friends who are working on them. Yeah.
So they're doing it in crazy ways. But I had a guy on. He was on the Blacklist, and he was telling me stories of how they're dealing with it, and it's so different from what it was. But they're getting it done, and they're getting it done. So. And it doesn't look like it. If you watch the shows and the episodes, it doesn't look like it. So they make it really believable.
Well, basically any show that is pretty much any series that is now being shown, chances are it was, I mean, some of them were filmed before the pandemic.
Yeah.
But a lot of them were filmed while it was going on.
Yeah. They're at that point now, definitely. So it's interesting to see that. So I know when it first happened, everyone was doing shows like this, talking to each other. And
well, and you mentioned the Blacklist, because my understanding was they could not finish their last season.
That's true.
So they kind of did a graphic novel presentation of whatever the final wrap up of the season was.
Yeah.
But now they're back, with the new season, back to, I guess, more regular press. I haven't seen that, but I read about it.
Yeah, that they did. It's pretty wild how they did that. And then now they're back. But like he was saying how they're, they have everything. Everyone's got their mask on the whole time, far away from each other. You come out, you do a rehearsal with the mask on, you take it off, you do like 1 or 2, and then you're gone. They put you away from everybody. You eat lunch in a little corner by yourself, and it's all boxed lunch they got. And it's they keep it healthy. They don't want anyone sick. They're trying. So
I have an old friend who works as a dialect coach on films and TVs, and she's working on an AMC series now that's filming in Boston. And she was telling me about that, just about all the procedures they have set up.
So like scripts like you have there, or you're talking about, is like perfect to do right now. Maybe get it going, get it in the right hands, right? People that want to do stuff. So, but well, that's great though. Have you? You said you put this script into other festivals so far. Have you heard from them, and have they done things differently, or
Well, I mean, it's been Veil, the one that was accepted by you guys, has been selected by 7 or 8 different festivals, and then that's the last I hear. It was selected, and I still haven't figured out. I guess maybe I could go and like follow their Facebook page or their website more, assiduously, and try and keep up with what's going on. But I mean, for the most part, they're like festivals someplace where I'm not, and so I can sort of read about them, so I'm still trying to figure out how do you. I mean, at first I said I'm only going to submit to festivals that are near where I am, so I could then like go to them,
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I mean, not just because of COVID, but it's like, well, I'm not going to be paying to travel all over the country. I just can't afford to like go to Austin because they're doing a reading of a script of mine. But then after a while, I said, no, I want to submit to other places and to try and reach out further. But I still am trying to figure out how I don't know, to make the best use of that.
Yeah.
For myself. I mean, it seems as though what I'm figuring out and what you said, what you told me kind of backs this up. It's like if you get selected or nominated or even win a prize, you know, and I've won a few prizes that were like for the month. It's like they give out a different award every month. So I figured that's like being a finalist. It's like, if you're winning the best prize, the best script submitted in February, it's not quite the same as, you know, for the whole year, you know.
That's true, yeah.
But if you rack up some credits like that, then that just like it's still up to you to basically reach out and try and hustle and make something happen for yourself, and it just gives you some ammunition, I guess.
It does, yeah.
You know, it's like it's like a sign of approval. Like this many festivals said this script was worth looking at.
Yeah, it's kind of like, and then you get like a quote or something, almost like you're advertising a TV show, right? Like,
yeah, it's just like, I mean, it's not the same as getting a job, but it's like you just got a good rating, you know, from a number of different people, and it's like with Veil, like I say, I've been selected by however many 7 or 8 festivals, and it's not individually. One of those may be like, well, you know, I don't know how much that means, you know, or it's like, I don't, or unless they know a festival and say, oh, that's a good festival. Because I, you know, I don't really know the difference between all these different festivals. All I know is what I read on their Facebook page, and they all make themselves sound good.
Yeah.
You know, but if you have like 8 or 9 different places that's, you know, selected your script, or your film, if you made that, then it's like, okay, well, a number of different people, you know, have said, oh, this one's worth something. So I'm hoping to get somewhere with that.
That'd be great. Absolutely. Have you written any other ones since during COVID? Have you written anything?
Yeah, I mean, I wrote that one, and then I wrote like 5 more.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, it's the time to write, right? Is this the time?
Yeah. I mean, it's like, in a way, you know, if it weren't for COVID, I really don't know whether any of this would have happened.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I had things that I was doing, and I would have like, oh, I want to do that, and maybe I'll get around to it. But as it was, I got, I mean, one of them was I wrote one short screenplay like 40 years ago and shot it on videotape. I mean, that's you know, but then I didn't do another thing for like 40 years. And I started to write these other screenplays, and I was telling a friend about this thing that I'd written 40 years ago, and they said, that sounds kind of interesting. Could you redo it? And I thought, okay. So I just from memory, because I'd like didn't have the script anymore. The videotape had been lost.
Oh no.
You know? Although I managed to get in touch with the guy I shot it with, who had it on disc, and he sent it to me. So I saw this videotape film I made 40 years ago that had been like a lost film.
Wow.
For me, you know, for 40 years. And it wasn't bad, you know, I mean, and it was rough, you know, I'm sure it could be done much better now.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I wrote a bunch of those, and like I wrote 6 in all that I've been submitting through Film Freeway. Wow. And, you know, a couple of them are like 5 pages long, 6 pages long, you know.
Yeah, well, that's a short, because that's what you want, a snippet of it, you know, your little.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Well, it's like, you know, just I'm a big believer that something should be the length it is. You shouldn't say, oh, I've got to make this longer.
Yeah.
Like a great 5-page play should just stay there.
Yeah.
You shouldn't say, oh, I need to make it a feature. You know, if it's what it is, you know, you should stick with that.
I used to love going to the city and watching and sitting down and usually they're not contests, but they do these theater things where there's like 10 plays and they're all like 10 minutes long, 5 10 minutes long.
Yeah.
So I loved doing that, and I did that quite often. And of course, haven't done it in a long time now. But
well, and I figure that if you're looking to connect with, you know, kind of small scale independent filmmakers, they're not looking to make a feature film. I mean, maybe some of them are, but they're looking for something small. That they could do, you know, and so I said, well, that's, you know, I mean, I may not make any money doing that, but that's the way to get started.
It is. That's how to get going. So that, yeah, it will work. It will get there. It will. Absolutely. But that's great to have to be writing all that. I know a lot of filmmakers are saying, "Oh, I'm writing right now. So now I'm ready to go, ready to film, ready to do it." So in the next couple of months, I know a lot of filmmakers just want to go crazy and film. So they're hoping. Yeah. How is it down there with theater? Are they opening up at all? Or are they or
well, they're beginning to. I mean, what happened? Because I run a theater company that doesn't produce year round. We produced a festival, like a little repertory of new plays written by Georgia playwrights. We do that once a year.
Wow.
And 2020 was the first year we didn't do that since 1999 when we started. So, you know, we had plans, we had our plays chosen, and we just canceled, you know, because all theaters, it was just about a year ago this week. All theaters in Atlanta closed down. And what we did throughout the year was when we started some online educational classes, you know, playwriting classes, and we presented some Zoom readings of plays, and other companies have done that sort of thing. And they're starting to, there's like one company in town that's, I think, opening a production this week that's like going to be live, but I think it's going to be a few months before people really feel safe, you know.
Theater's always tight, like, you know, tight area.
Well, yeah, I mean, you want the audience to feel safe, but you also want the actors to be safe. You don't want to, you know, say, you know, I don't care that you're scared. You have to kiss each other. It's a play, you know. But I'm hoping my company is hoping to produce our next festival in like October, and we're hoping by then.
Yeah, that's what everyone's hoping for. And then like I just got my first shot next weekend. I got my second shot, so it's getting there.
Yeah, I'm older than you, so I've had both.
You have both? Yeah, so you're good. That's great. Yeah.
Well, I'm not like completely sure that everything is.
Oh no, yeah, you get. You just.
It's just too weird.
It's crazy and weird. It's odd.
I'm trying to figure it out, and it keeps changing. So I'm still being careful.
Yeah, you still got to be careful, but at least you're like, like sort of safe. Sort of,
you know. We got some protection now. Yeah.
So anything's better than not. I'm a school teacher, so we have more kids coming in. So I'm like, I gotta get it just to feel safe, even.
Oh, sure, yeah. Well, I think teachers should have gotten vaccinated right from the start.
And we just had a kids in my classroom 2 days ago, and on Friday they were in another teacher's classroom, and he had COVID. And they're all home now. So he just got it. And all the kids there, I'm like, I had those kids yesterday.
Yeah.
So that was a little scary there. But I was like, I stay far away. I have my mask. I stay far away. But you never know, right? You never know.
Yeah.
But So do you have anything else that you would like to add, or do you have any websites or anything that you have stuff on? And
I don't. I mean, I have my theater company has a website.
Oh yeah.
I guess I need to start my own personal website if I'm gonna. I'm not on Instagram. It's like all these festivals, you know. They say, well, you know, follow us on Instagram, and I still don't.
That's the new one now. That's the new one.
Instagram works even. Yeah. You know?
I just learned the Instagram. That's the newest one to go on. It was use Facebook. I learned Facebook. I'm like, I'm good. I'm on Facebook, and now it's Instagram, and I'm learning that. And
I'm on Facebook. Yeah.
My students are like TikTok now. I'm like, no, just leave me alone.
Yeah, you can look up. You can, if you want to, if anybody wants to, they can go to Facebook and look up Peter Hardy. And I post. I always like, if I get selected by a festival or something, I always post something on there.
Oh, absolutely,
you know? And I try to, you know, but yeah, a website is probably something, you know, I should
something in the future, right, to put on and everything. That's great. But thanks for joining me for a few minutes today, and we will you know, let you know when things get closer. I got a couple of days of craziness, and then I'll concentrate back on all this stuff. And I'm off that week at school. So,
and when's your festival again?
It's going to be March 31st. March 31st. We're going to play it online. We'll send out like how to get on and all that. Okay. And we have this new thing, and we've used it before, and it went really well. So they actually play it So they'll play it when we're supposed to play it, and then they'll actually play it again the next day, like the whole fest again. We'll just kind of rerun it the next day, and the site that we put it on does that. So we'll give all the access codes and everything for you, and and then afterwards, after it runs that first one, we're going to be in Point Lookout, and we're going to do a little video for a small awards show after. So we'll post that. We'll tell you everyone where it is. It's probably going to be on Facebook and our webpage and all that right after all the films play.
So. Yeah, well, if the travel wasn't the way it was now, actually, there's a lot of festivals that I've submitted to that I wouldn't go to, but I have friends in New York that I could stay. So I might even come to that if I felt like I could get on a plane, which I don't really want to do right now.
Yeah. We're thinking next year we'll be back. So the next time around it will be back to normal. Like that'll be like next April. So we're like, oh, it's got to be normal. We never know. You can never know, because I remember saying to the kids, "See you in 2 weeks."
Yeah,
and that didn't happen.
Well, it's like I think it's just going to be interesting how different the world is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just like the way the world was different after 9/11. I mean, things kind of continued the same way, but it also wasn't the same.
No, it wasn't.
And I think it's hard to predict, just how, like, whether people will shake hands.
Yeah, I don't think so. Anymore. I don't think they would anymore.
Yeah, I mean, there's a whole. Yeah, I mean,
I haven't at all. I stay far away. I'll do like a little nod.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and like I say, other things. I mean, it's so completely shaped everything about the way we live that you do something for a year, it has an impact.
But a lot of people are just hitting shoulders.
Yeah,
yeah. It's gonna change. It's not gonna ever be the same again.
Yeah,
but
I think it'll. I'm hoping it'll be something we can all relax back into. But it'll be interesting to see how, even without realizing it, maybe.
And how about like if you go back in history, like pandemics last maybe about 2-3 years.
Yeah,
3 years.
Yeah.
It's only been a year.
So
it's only been 1 year, and we got these vaccines going a little too early, but they're going.
Yeah,
but, We'll see how once everyone gets their shots, and if everyone else gets herd immunity, and I think that's the hope.
Yeah, well, I think it's. I mean, from my point of view, we needed to have a national government that was trying to have a consistent approach.
Yeah.
To this, instead of saying, "Well, let every state do just what it wants," because that
kind of messed up everything. Some states are like, some states are. But we're doing okay in Jersey. Actually, we're doing all right. We got hit hard in the beginning, but we're doing okay. They just opened up 50%. Everything's dropping, so it's not so bad.
Yeah,
I mean, it's still bad, but it's livable. But yeah, thanks for joining me today. And
thanks very much.